What's cracking, everybody? Hello and welcome back to Gaming 101 with Mr. Berger. Looks like we are on about episode 4 right now of my new Factorio 101 series. So we got a lot of things to do, and there's always more to do in this game. So what I'm thinking for today is we're going to go ahead and we're not really going to start our bus yet, but since we have like power and the basics set up, we're going to go over to the left here. And I remember scouting out the map at the beginning in the first video, and I actually went back and rewatched that first video, and I found out, that there's going to be this nice little oasis kind of right around there somewhere. And when I say oasis, I just mean a patch of green, because as you remember in the first video, we went ahead and set up, a bunch of different aspects of the map, and one of the aspects was we did mostly desert with a lot of little patches of green. So that's just kind of what I dubbed them. So we're going to head over there, and there's going to be a good, nice, solid start to basic resources. And then we will go ahead and start doing some more mining over there. Maybe send some of our current iron and stuff down there. And then we're going to go ahead and set up some basic smelting. So that is the plan for today. I don't know if we're going to get that far. We might just do a little bit of basic mining and stuff. And when we do that, we're going to probably have to set up a little bit more electricity. But honestly, right now, this is really good. You can see right here, if we look at satisfaction, when you're using steam, it's only going to produce as much electricity as you need. So when you have nuclear power, which is way, way, way later in the game, it'll just keep producing more and more energy. Whereas pretty much anything else, it'll only produce as much as you need. Solar gets a little bit more complicated because it doesn't gain energy at night. And, you can store the energy with accumulators, but I'm getting way ahead right now. I just wanted to kind of briefly point out the power. Satisfaction is full. Production, you can see that it's really low, and that's good because it's only producing as much as we need. So if the bar, you can see just a little tiny bit of the bar right there when it pops up when we're using a little bit there. Mostly just like if the inserters are being used, because that's all that we have right now. It goes up a little bit, but the higher it goes up, that represents how much production is using versus how much it can potentially use. So if the bar is getting near full, you basically want to make sure that you're getting more power. All right, so that's our little stint on power there. Let's go ahead and let's make that trek left. But since we have power set up here, let's see. Do I have many power poles? I want some more power poles, so I'm going to make some of those. And what I want to do here is run this out with me to the left there with us. So we have our basic power set up here, and maybe we'll set up another nice big power base later, but for the time being, we're just going to go ahead and use this little bit here, and we're going to run this power all the way with us. And in order to do that, what you're going to want to do is click and hold. So if you notice, you can, let's scroll in a little bit closer so you guys can see better. You can put the power pole out to a certain distance, and when the cord snaps, when you no longer see the cord attached to the previous power pole over here, then that means that it won't be connected, and that means it's too far away. So usually I find that spot right where it snaps and then move it as far away from the first power pole as it can be without snapping, so like right there. And then what you want to do is you're going to click and hold and then run your character. And it won't just place power pole after power pole. It's going to place them the maximum distance that they can go from each other while still being connected once you selected the position of that first one. And it'll automatically, that one's a little bit higher, not a big deal. It'll automatically avoid obstacles. So things like, if you're running through a patch of trees, it'll find the closest distance it can go without breaking, and, it'll avoid the trees and stuff like that. Got a nice little biter base. Now they're on peaceful, and it's really tiny, so it's really not a big deal. I don't have much more wood, though, or many more power poles, do I? I should put them on my taskbar here. I don't know why I didn't do that already. Okay, there we go, 27. If we look at power poles, where'd they go? Okay, it needs copper cable and wood. Yeah, and I'm low on wood. So there's a little bit of wood right here. So just in case, to be 100% sure that we don't run out, I'll just grab this wood here real quick. I mean, it might as well. It's on the way. I might want to use this stone patch later. You never know. Okay, so we got enough for another 29 or so power poles. Oh, nice little dead tree. You can pick up those too for wood as well. So let's go ahead and press Q. and that selects the power pole. Put it away as far as we can, or actually you could click and hold right there and then just run it out. If it's on top of one that's already made, that works as well. Alright, we got a uranium patch there. I know at some point I'm going to have to run a little bit north, so I'm going to do that pretty soon. Oh, here's some green. Is this our oasis? This may be it. Alright, I'll leave that there for a second. Yeah, I think this is the area I was looking for, because I see some... Yeah, there's our starting area down there, and I remember it was like just northwest of that, and I already went north over here. That's why I was thrown off. I'm like, wait, wasn't it northwest? But since we started our power way over there, we just brought it directly west there, and it looks like we're in a good spot. So we got some trees here too, and actually this is not a bad idea. I'll show you an example of what I was talking about with running the power poles through. So you're going to press Q, select it, and put it out further, click and hold, and you'll see it'll try to find a spot in between the trees. And if it can't go the maximum distance because there's trees in the way, it'll just put it as far as it can without the trees being in the way, essentially. It'll put it as far as it can go, you know, without it being obstructed by something else. Because obviously if there's a tree in the way, you can't put the power pole down. You can chop down some of these trees. I don't plan to run through here a lot, but if you do, if you are running like belts or something, or if you're running a lot of power poles through an area you're going to be running through a lot, you might want to consider chopping some of the trees. As I mentioned in previous episodes, you're not really going to be using a lot of wood, but you know, we are going to use some early on, and so we might as well just get a little bit of that now, and then we will start looking at our options for setting up our base. Okay, that's good. That gets us enough for some more power poles. Okay, now we have electricity, right? So let's just start right here. We can use this coal in the middle. We're going to use the iron right there, and we can use the stone when we need it, and I know there's copper nearby somewhere. It might not be directly north here. I think it was like northwest. But I mean, we have this map absolutely full of absolutely everything. I don't know, I guess that's just how I like to play. And so it'll be fine. It'll get us a whole ton of what we need. And we'll be able to find another copper patch soon. Okay, so just really quickly, this is what I was talking about with the rocks. We couldn't find any of these earlier, but if you mine these rocks, if you look at the expected resources on the right of the screen there, it says 22 stone. So if we mine that, it takes a little bit longer, but it'll give us, you know, a bunch of stone. So 20 stone, not exactly. This one, even bigger one, it gives us stone as well as coal. So if we mine that, not as big of a deal now because we have a lot of stuff set up already from our old base. But early on, if you can find those, that's really good. And then I got that there in my hand. Okay, cool. Next thing we're going to need, and I should have been making these earlier, is we're going to need some electric mining drills. We're definitely going to need some stone furnaces to set up smelting. So we'll do that. We're going to need a bunch of belts. And we're going to use some regular inserters. I should have been making this stuff this whole time. That was my bad. I was too busy talking. We could have been running and crafting. But that's okay. It's not a big deal. We'll figure it out. So we got regular inserters there already. Electric mining drills there. I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, I didn't mean to make that. Whatever. Let's see. I'm going to remove that and put that there. And remove that because I want it a little bit closer. And the burners, yeah, I'm hardly going to use those at this point, so I'm just going to remove that as well. So first thing that we need is we're going to do some basic mining, some iron. So if we look at our blueprint book, I got a ton of blueprints. Not a ton, honestly. I don't have that many, to be honest. But I've got enough right now that we have a good start. So what we can do here is there's a power one, and this gives us a bunch of different power options. But just the very basic steam one is right there. And it's from Nilaus. It's also in my base in blueprint book. Where is that one? Yeah, base in a book. So this one, I use this one a lot, steam power right there. And you can see that's basically the same one. I have the better lights than the vanilla lights, and I'm using them because of Afraid of the Dark. So I'll probably be using those. But anyway, I'm looking at the wrong thing here. Sorry, steam power is not what I meant to look at. You guys are probably like, what is he talking about? I meant to say the basic mining. We already did the steam power earlier, but you guys saw that I'd used that in a previous episode. So he also has a nice mining one here, but same concept. We're not necessarily going to use the lights because I've got nicer lights already. And then we got some basic smelting as well. He has some newer stuff, and he's got a nicer basic smelting right there. So we might actually use that one. We'll try that out, but we will see how it goes. I kind of like the one that I have already. So if we look at the basic mining, we're going to try to send everything downward, like southward from here. So we want to make sure the belts are going downward. You could rotate it so that they're going upward. But you can also just go ahead and bring it whatever direction you want. You know, if you're going left, you just do it like that. Just look at the direction the belts are facing. To the right, same thing. All right, we're going to do it downward, and we're just going to start here in the bottom right. You don't want to put it, I kind of went over mining already, huh? But you don't want to put it off to the side because you're not going to get necessarily as much iron as you can. And when you're playing with a whole ton of iron, like, it's not going to run out because we have so much, you know, saturation of it in these fields. So we're just going to kind of start in the side here. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just make sure that all the drills are on top of some ore. And as you guys can see, I mean, it's really not a complex blueprint. If you want, you can just do it yourself and just run a bunch of mining drills. And sometimes you've got to make do with the mining drills where you place them because you might have like a smaller patch that you're working with, and you might be trying to get like all the different parts of it. So you might have to, you know, put a mining drill, say, dang, I can't select it because I don't have one made. Okay, well, it looks like everything else got made, so that was a lot quicker than I thought. So let's make some more mining drills here because I need a lot of those, and then some more furnaces because I'm gonna need a lot of those. So you might need to squeeze all the extra iron and everything out. But in this case, generally, you know, you can just run a bunch of iron drills, or excuse me, mining drills, electric mining drills up and down, you know, left and right. But a few things to keep in mind: you want to make sure that there's one space in between them for the belts. So we're going to run belts down the middle there. And you also want to make sure that there is room for some electricity. So like that. Oh, and hey, and the same thing with the blueprints. If you click and hold over the blueprint with the power poles, it will only place them where they are in the blueprint. As for the lights, I'm just going to take those out because I'm not too worried about that right now. We're going to take a look at, where is it? Oh, we don't have the better lights. We don't have any lights yet anyway, so sorry. I knew that already from last episode, but it's been a little while in between the recording from the previous episode and this one. All right, now we have some basic iron being mined. We still got plenty of power, so no worries. These on the left here just need to be connected, so we'll put one power pole right up there. And now we have some iron coming down. Now, another thing I'm going to need is, we're definitely going to need some more belts. A big thing in this game is, like, don't be afraid to use extra space. You're going to need a lot of space for things. So, I don't necessarily want to start my smelting array right here. I want to run this down. We'll just kind of bring it to the side here because I might want to grab that patch of coal at some point too. And we will bring this down here. And I'm going to need more belts, so I'm actually going to go ahead and right-click some of these mining drills to cancel them so we can prioritize the belts. The furnaces are going to, yeah, I'm not too worried about those. Okay, now we got a bunch of belts being made, and then we will go back to doing a few more mining drills and a few more furnaces. So that can be on the queue while we're dealing with this. Okay, so we're sending all this down, right? We're out of belts. What we can do is we can build ghosts and just kind of plan it, right? And maybe we can bring it through this wood and we can start our smelting there. I just want to, you know, you can never have enough space. Like, this may seem like excess since we're starting the mining way up there. But honestly, that's just how I'm going to decide to do it. Because I'd rather have more space than not enough. Okay, so let's see. You can also Control C to put blueprints down. And let's just go ahead and clear some more trees here so we can make sure we can get all those guys down properly. course, there's a whole bunch of trees right where I want to build, right? That's how it works out. It's not a big deal. Trees become a lot more easy to clear as the game progresses. Alright. Oops. Alright, there we go. Looks like I got those through, or down, and we can go all the way through. Alright, awesome, guys. This is looking good. Let's get that one more tree there. And let's run this down here. And then let's go get the rest of those belts, because remember they were only ghosts because we didn't have enough belts at the moment to fill them in. So let's go ahead and fill in the rest there, and then we will get that iron running down there. And then we're also going to need to bring power at some point, but we'll do that next. Let's go ahead and take a look at the mining drill, or excuse me, the smelting setup. Okay, we got a nice start here, and there's some oil that we could potentially use up there in the future, but honestly we'll find oil elsewhere. It's not a big deal. So we got the iron coming down. Let's go ahead and start our smelting right about here. Now, as I mentioned, Nilaus has a different smelting. Where was it? It was in this one here. But let me take a look at it really quickly. If you right click it, you can take a closer look. It has what is it? Crates, boxes at the bottom there. It just does something a little bit different with the coal, with the insertion of, oh, I see. It brings the coal or the iron or whatever from the bottom there. Let's go ahead. We could try that one later, but I'm just going to use the one that I'm comfortable with for now. And oh boy, but in order to do that, I should have started science first. Dang, I didn't really think this through. Because we are going to need to have splitters and underground belts to do that nice smelting array. And I'll show you what I mean. And we'll just make do for the time being. We'll figure it out. Okay, so base in the book and basic smelting. Okay, so if we put this down right about there, the constant combinators in his blueprints just tell us what needs to go where. So if you look at the output signals on that one, we need coal in there, and we want whatever we want to smelt in there. So it could be iron, it could be copper, it could be stone. In this case, it's going to be iron. And we would be bringing this stuff under and splitting it right there. So we may need to just kind of make do and find another way for it to split. Or if we have, oh, actually, yeah, we could do something else here. And we're going to just make a bunch of red science packs by hand. I think we need about 30 to do the first research. So hopefully I'm not explaining too much at once here, but let's take a quick look at research. If you press T, you can open up your technology tree, list of technologies. Automation's a great first thing to get, but I really want logistics, because I want to get, if you look at the effects of it over here when you select it, you have underground belts and splitters. And I don't really want to get too much into the tech tree right now, but basically the ones that are green you can research right now. If they're red, you can't get those yet. And the little dots or the little icons on the bottom represent what kind of science you need for it. You can also scroll over that if you want to see the name. People generally just call them by the color that they are, so they'll call that like a red science. And there's, you know, green science and yellow science and blue science and purple science and all kinds of stuff like that. So right now the most basic one is red science or automation science packs. And you can see that logistics, it only requires 20 red sciences total to be researched. That's what that times 20 means. And the little clock there, 15, means it's 15 seconds to research one unit. So one of those things, one red science, will take 15 seconds to be completed, and 20 red sciences total will complete the research. So next thing we're going to need, actually I shouldn't have done those red sciences yet, because before that we need the science labs. And I can't recall if I set those up yet. I don't think I set one up here because we just got power. So this is going to be a pretty catch-all episode. It's going to be science, it's going to be mining, it's going to be a little bit of smelting, and it's going to be a little bit of a longer episode than the previous ones, as you guys can tell already. But that's good. This is kind of how I want it to be, a little bit of like a Let's Play series. So we're going to make, let's do 4 labs for now. And my favorite lab is a golden lab. I'm just kidding. These are actually, I like chocolate labs, but these are the different kind of lab. It's a laboratory kind of lab, like a science lab, and this is where you research the science. So we can see we got one in my inventory right now. So we're just going to place it somewhere that has power, basically. And then we're going to need to take those science packs and insert them into there. And right now, you're going to automate this, or we're going to automate this all really soon. Don't worry. This is like a major part of the game, automating the science, right? But the big thing here is we need to make sure to get that thing started, the logistics and stuff. So we want to just kind of handcraft a few right now, dump them in. We only needed 20 total. We can even click the start research for logistics. And you know, you might want to do automation first. A lot of people might prefer that, but I like logistics just because I like getting the smelting and everything set up. And let's see, I think we have a few more science labs now. Yes, we do. And there's a number of things we can do. We have a lot of electricity, right? Yeah, we got plenty of electricity, so we'll do this. And we have inserters. We're going to need another pole in the middle somewhere, or we can set it up along the side here. Let's do this. We'll make use of the ones that we already have and the space. So let's put these little guys on my taskbar, maybe down there because I don't use them a lot. And we're just going to make sure that they're all in power range and they got one space in between. That gives power there. And what I want to do is have an inserter from each. Yeah, that one doesn't have power, so I'm tired of moving stuff around. We'll just put one more little power pole down. You can put it right there, give that thing power. And let's actually rotate these because we're going to do it from the bottom. And then once you have those science packs, you just shift click them into the bottom one, or whichever one starts the little array there. And you'll see that it's going to, oh, there we go, that's what I want. It's going to pull the packs out of whichever one, you know, it's the inserter is pulling from, and put them into whichever it's putting into. So generally you're just going to make like a big line like this, and you would repeat this down. We can control C it, and you know, you could just make another one and so on and so forth. And they'll just, you know, be pulling from the first one and putting them down forever, as many as you have. Although I wouldn't advise to make too many in one row. You can just make multiple rows. So you could do like another one like that, another one like that, another one like that. We'll get into science a little bit later. And the layouts, the blueprints. The one that he has here that I have used and is very successful is like this. The reason it has those 2 underground belts is that allows us to get potentially up to 8 items to be inserted into one thing from one side. And you have 7 sciences in the game total. So, you know, 8 items is enough for that. I think 7 sciences. There might be more, and if you're playing with mods, obviously there's going to be a lot more things to it. But in the vanilla game, I think that's what it is, at least to launch the rocket. That sounds about right. Okay, so we have the basic science set up. Very, very basic. Just kind of like feeding stuff into it, basic. And honestly, guys, there's probably a lot better ways to start this. There's other people that would automate things a lot quicker. But this is just how I'm choosing to do it for the series. It's just going to be a nice kind of slow-paced Let's Play series. And, you know, we're just going to slowly build up this nice big base. So, we have everything in there. I think that's as much as we need. That one's got 2. Let's make a couple more just to be safe. And then we can go ahead and head on back down real soon. And on our way back down, we got some more drills. That's good. Let's get some belts, because we're also going to need coal, if you recall. Okay, cool. There we go. That'll definitely be enough. So let's go ahead and head on back down. I like riding my belt sometimes when we're running in the direction that it's going. So we can do that. It makes us run a little bit quicker. See, if we're not moving, it still moves the guy a little bit. If we're running here, it's a little bit slower versus running on the belt. So I did mention we're going to need to bring coal. So we avoided this coal patch. Why don't we go ahead and just use it? It's a little bit closer. Let's do the basic mining again. Oops. And we're going to bring it out this way. So it can go right there. Just click and hold to put all the drills down. And we might as well go in excess right now. Because we're going to need a good chunk of coal eventually. And we can just run this down right next to the iron. And then we can just continue to branch iron off to the left here if we need more lanes. And coal can go down to the right here. And we're generally going to be using a lot more iron than coal, so we can always do, other lanes of iron on the right side later if necessary. Just use underground belts to kind of squeeze them in there. So for now, we should be doing this as well. So that's finished. We can start automation and make a few more belts, and make a few more sciences. And what I was talking about, what we should be doing is running power poles down with us. So let's select power pole. Let's go ahead and click there. And we're going to go ahead and run on down. And we are trying to get power to, yes, to that right there. Then we will connect all of those. And there we go. No lights yet. We can research lights soon. Not really a big deal right now. Alright, now we have coal and iron running down. We're going to need to continue to run that power down. So let's do that click and hold thing there. And then I made them kind of crisscrossy, not on purpose, but not a big deal. And we're going to bring this down here. Power poles are going to be a lot easier to run through the trees. We won't have to worry about chopping down trees for that. They'll just kind of squeeze on in there. Alright, now we have power here. And let's get it down to there and there. And we're going to be using a bunch of different power poles in here, but we're not doing that quite yet. Next thing we want to do is we want to get coal down there. So since we're running upward, we might as well just bring a belt with us, since we ran downward to get the, the power poles placed. So let's go ahead and run this upward. We know that the coal is connected right next to the iron lane, because we looked at that and set that up earlier. And there we go. And it looks like the bottom ones don't have power because this was not connected here, so we just need to add one more little power pole, just anywhere where it connects the two, so we can squeeze it in right there. Now everything is connected. We have basic iron, we have coal, we have power, we have logistics researched. Things are looking pretty good, if I say so myself. We'll just keep making a few more of those because we're gonna need a bunch anyway. Oh shoot, that was silly of me, because we are going to need a couple splitters and underground belts, as I mentioned. So let's make 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could just right click it, but I wanted to do one at a time so that they would be made a little bit quicker and we can place them down. Okay, there's a splitter there. Let's get that guy, and in the meantime, while we're waiting for the underground belt, let's put all of this down. Oh boy, we need more belts too, huh? Well, good thing I canceled that science. Let's get more belts. And we probably are going to need some more inserters. But for the time being, we do have a lot of furnaces, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we do. We have them on the taskbar still there. And there's like 42 right now. So we can go ahead and put all those guys in. And I'm just going to remove the lights from the blueprint because I'm going to be using the Afraid of the Dark lights soon. And I'll just take those out. Okay, so it wants us to put coal in that one and then the ore in that one. So in order to do that, we'll just bring this guy over here. And then we will use an underground belt. Now I like to have my underground belts on 3 and my splitters on 4. I don't know, that's just kind of what I've been doing lately. So I'll put inserters over here and I'll put mining drills right there just to continue to have them out there. Underground over to there. And that will run the ore. And then we need one more underground to there. There we go. That runs the ore and the coal. There we go, the iron ore and the coal. Alright, we got our belts running. And our smelting here. Nice big smelting array is almost complete. Now it looks like we're done with the belts, so let's cancel those because right now we need inserters. We do have some inserters, but in the meantime we will wait for everything to be made and we will do some power. Man, now that I know that you can click and hold on the blueprint to just put the power poles into where they are on the blueprint, that makes it so much easier. My girlfriend had a lot of trouble with that, just because the little power poles, the very beginner ones, are really hard to see. They're really tiny. And in the blueprint, I mean, if you look at a ghosted one, it's like, it's not that easy to see. It's not that easy to hover over. So, you know what I mean? It's definitely beneficial that we have that option now. Or Yeah, I guess now, because I don't know if it was before. If we did have it before. To, you know, be able to click and hold. It makes it a lot easier. Alright, so let's go ahead and we're going to put down the inserters here. So we got some going in, some going from the, wait, how did that guy get there? Oh, that's fine. I didn't need to put one there. It was in the wrong spot. Alright, there we go. So some going from the belts that are running the ore, putting it into the furnaces, and then some pulling from the furnaces, putting out onto the middle belt. And then we're going to put some boxes or something down there. And then that'll pretty much be it. We got a really nice setup here. 1, 2, wait, what's wrong here? Why is that? Oh, that's an extra power pole right there. Okay, not necessary. Cool. Alright, guys. So we now have basic smelting. Can I make radars yet? Yes, I love radars. Let me make a few of those. We have basic smelting, basic mining up there. We have our old base. And the reason that I say I love radars is we're going to make 1 or 2 now. And that'll allow us to see the map from pretty much anywhere. What I mean by that, let me be more clear about that, is you can like zoom in and see your base like as if you were standing right next to it from afar with the radar. So power, you notice that the production's gone up because we got a lot more things using power now. I do want to make a few iron chests. So we'll make like 6 right now. And cancel that, and then we'll prioritize the chests, and then we'll make a couple more radars. Let's put the iron chest on the taskbar somewhere. And we're going to put them to the side here. 1, 2, 3. Oops. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to put inserters pulling off of the belt and putting into the iron chests. And we'll just put a power pole on each side. Not a big deal. Alright, cool. Now this is going to store a bunch of iron for us for the time being until we can go and kind of get our bus and everything set up. A few things that I would like to do next, but I probably won't do in this episode, is maybe get a little bit of stone running down there, get a little bit more iron possibly running down there, and get some copper running down there. I got some copper up there. I'm sure there's some more over here if necessary. But really quickly, before we close the video here, I want to go ahead and put down some radars. So we have the one down there, and it's gonna, well, I'll show you guys once we get up here. It's gonna scan the area around it, and it's gonna slowly reveal the map around it in a certain radius, but it's also going to, as I mentioned, allow us to zoom in on that spot and see what it looks like from afar and how it's going, which can be super useful if you're playing with biters on. But again, this is just more of like a for fun engineering, you know, mega base. I mean, not really mega base. No, I don't think I can do a mega base, but you know, just kind of a more sandboxy casual play kind of series. So here's what I mean. You zoom out and you get the map, but if you zoom in far enough, you can see around the radar. So you can see what's going on there. Our stuff's working. You can't really click on it, but you can see the info on the right side of the screen there, how full they are, or if I scroll over these guys, you know, the electricity that they're using, so on and so forth. And so we want to have those spread throughout the map. No, I don't want the fish. And so let's go ahead and put one more right up there. And we can always, you know, remove it and put it elsewhere if necessary. And then I don't want to necessarily run too far right now, all the way back to the base, the old base. We could run there at some point to pick a few things up, and potentially even just pick up all the drills and stuff. But we don't really need to do that because we'll get everything automated and running pretty soon. But I do want a few radars spread throughout the line here so that we can see further down. So we'll just start with that one right there. And we're going to go ahead and run back over to the base here, and we will call it a video. So I think that is pretty much it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for watching until the very end here. I really appreciate it. If you did, you're awesome. Be sure to leave the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I would really appreciate that. And leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see in this series, if you like it, what you think of this game. It can be overwhelming, but it's so much fun. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Alright guys, that is it for tonight. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a good night.